Hello everyone, my name is JaeAIK, and today we're back with another I Rate My Friends mains. Unlike Lenople and VEKO, who are my mods, I decided to bring in a friend that I've known for almost 14 years now.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, we go way back. We go way back.
Alright, so my name is Swoongi. A lot of people know me as Michael. I've been playing with Jay for games as long as he had mentioned. My first experience playing with Jay was him yelling at me, playing League of Legends, as all old good friends do. And then it later became I was yelling at Jay, and he actually ended up carrying me and my team in League of Legends in quite a few different tourneys.
See, back then, I could talk shit because you were a lower rank than me. And then at a certain point, you hit diamond, and I couldn't talk shit no more.
Yeah, I remember distinctly the situation. I was playing Skarner, and this guy was like, "Hey, you're gonna build Frozen Heart, right?" And I'm like, I wasn't building Frozen Heart, but in my head, I knew I had to respond, no, sir. I'm most definitely building Frozen Heart. And I'm like 2/3 of the way building something completely different before I actually ended up building the item.
I think we won that game, though, which is what matters, right?
I can't remember the result. I just remember you're gonna build Frozen Heart, right?
That was kind of a dig.
Hey, but look at where that's brought us together.
I mean, I feel like we have a lot of League of Legends stories we can tell, but we can get to those when we get to those, right? So I've asked you to give me 10, 15 characters, and then I've condensed those down to 10 of the most interesting ones that I thought we could talk about. One for games that we both kind of played together, games that I'm not too familiar with. Just things that I think I can get stories out of you from. Starting with Bruce from Tekken.
Yeah, so I picked up Bruce. I honestly can't even tell you what Tekken it was, but it was on the PlayStation 2. I was playing with my older brother because we were the two boys in the house, and he noticed that I wouldn't ever use my punches when we were playing versus each other. So he was like, "Hey, want to try picking up Bruce so you don't have to punch?" And turned out focusing on just 2 buttons was a lot easier. And later on in Tekken, I heard he got replaced by Fakuram in Tekken 7, and he didn't quite feel the same. But through that memory, I shared a lot of times just gaming with my older brother. It's probably what gave me a lot of my competitive energy. So yeah, that's how Bruce came on this list.
So, okay, what character did your brother play?
He played Steve.
He played Steve's? Oh, so you guys were opposites. He only
yeah,
we punches.
Yeah, he would punish me a lot doing the little Dempsey roll, and but the funny thing was, even though Steve was a punch exclusive character, I felt like my brother would just crouch on the floor and he would just jab me constantly. Back then, I just never could figure it out, so he would just play around with me back then like that.
That's the classic Tekken, if I have anything to say about it. Why didn't he recommend Hwoarang? I feel like Hwoarang's the kick character, or was Hwoarang not in that one?
So Hwoarang was in that one, and that's where his teacher is also introduced in that series, I believe.
Okay.
And he did suggest that I try Hwoarang, and he also was one of the characters that I picked up first just because he was Korean, and I'm Korean. But the stance, my brother would just laugh at me just spamming the stance button. And for a little bit of context, my brother is 12 years older than me, and I was probably 4 or 6 years old during this time trying to play this game. Yeah, I would just spam the stance, and I would be swapping positions, and he would just be punching me. So he was like, "Hey, this probably isn't your character."
You know what? That's fair. Honestly, when it comes to Bruce, I don't really have too much experience playing the Tekkens that he's available in. Do you like your story? But when I take a look at all the other characters that we put on this list, I think right now I'm gonna put Bruce in B, because I got some hot takes that are gonna happen as this goes on.
Hey, I think that's fair. I think it's just a good old, for me, when I think about mains and who I played a lot, Bruce is just the character that is definitely there.
All right, let's move on to Deus Ex Machina from Shadowverse.
Yeah, she's a waifu, so she's just gotta be up there for that reason alone. Secondly, she was like the mascot character for the craft or the class that I came back to when playing the card game Shadowverse. And when I asked, I don't even think I commissioned you back then, but when I asked James to help me create my stream, she became like my poster character for quite a while, on like my overlays and stuff like that. So I just have a lot of memories with her. Played a lot of Portalcraft. It's the main reason why I got back into the game in general. Why I started streaming in general.
Yeah, I remember this time because I think this is when Portalcraft kind of first came out, but there weren't many people that were like trying to figure out how to play Portalcraft. So if I remember correctly, you might actually be one of the first people that hit a really high rank playing Portalcraft.
Well, I mean, that is crazy to think of. I'm sure there were a lot of better Portalcraft players out there that just didn't stream, but I don't think a lot of people, I think you're right, a lot of people didn't like the class in general, because the two legendaries that were released were Deus Ex Machina and this one like laser cannon thing that was completely irrelevant. So those being the two only legendary cards available for the class, it didn't get much love, but I wanted to see the waifu pop off, so I played it.
No, I genuinely think you were one of the best like Portalcraft players out. I remember I like asked you to try and teach me one time, but my smooth brain could not figure it out. So I have a lot of respect for you playing this one.
I appreciate it. It was hard. I mean, I think you just had to. I think there was a lot more actions that you had to do in your turn with Portal compared to other classes, so you had to think a lot faster. I think is probably what was like a major drawback back then.
Yeah, I think this is just one of those. I think like with how I like to play card games, I don't like planning ahead. I just want to play my turn, and I like to react to what they play, right? Of course, there are some levels of thinking ahead that I have to do, but I think that's just kind of the gameplay that I like when it comes to card games. So maybe that's why I was never able to pick up Portalcraft, but yeah,
I mean, you taught me how to play Shadowverse. There was a deck called Dimensional Shift, and that's what essentially got me hooked into this game. So me becoming anything remotely good at this game is all thanks to you in reality.
Yeah, but you hit so much of a higher rank than I could ever imagine. You popped off in this game.
If you play a lot, you meet some goofy people in the game. You meet some amazing people in the game too, so that helped a lot.
Oh yeah, there were some great people in the community for sure. Jet from Valorant.
Yeah, I mean, Jet's the good old kind of poster child of Valorant. She's like the Yasuo for Valorant compared to League of Legends. Kind of the character that either pops off or you hate. Kind of adds to the character of the high skill ceiling. I play her because I'm bad. I don't think I'm necessarily good, but she gets a free get out of jail free card, so that's why I picked her up. She's also Korean, so naturally gravitated towards that again. I think there might be a theme of, oh, there's no other Korean characters, but yeah, if you notice a lot of my anecdotal stories, it's started off because they were Korean.
No, that's fair. I think you're the best Jet that I know. I mean,
yeah, unfortunately that doesn't say a lot, because you know, like, maybe 3 people that play Valorant, so
yeah,
that's higher.
But like out of those 3 people who hit, what was your peak again?
Ascendant 3 was my peak, but I'm washed up now. I'm like a diamond. I sit at diamond.
Yeah, but like still, like I feel like still hitting diamond is kind of all right. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm surprised, to be honest. I mean, I put a lot of hours into the game, but when I played CS:GO, I was like silver, the lowest rank silver, which is the equivalent of bronze. So I got lucky, I guess.
I don't know. I think Jet's a cool character. I don't play Valorant, but whenever I watch like the VCS like tournaments that are going on, it's always the Jet players that are doing the cool stuff. And I feel like
yeah,
cool stuff.
I occasionally can do the cool stuff, but most of the time it's me dashing in and just dying. But it's fun. It's fun.
I'll put Jet in A tier. I think if I wasn't looking at this list, I would put your Jet in S tier, but because I'm the one who curated this list, I kind of have things that are forming in my mind. Poe from Vampire Survivors.
Yeah, I mean, I don't honestly think this guy needs an introduction, but he's just an old man, and he's so smelly, or he farts a lot, that there's like an AoE around him that just deletes everything. I thought he was pretty OP. Played him a ton in Vampire Survivors, and now I make references of him in many, many different games. And Vampire Survivors got me into like a whole new genre of games that I had no idea existed. And I think it's like kind of the grandfather of a certain genre of type of game too.
Yeah, Vampire Survivor likes, whatever. I think that's what they're called. Yeah, this guy's the GOAT. Anyone that's played Vampire Survivors fully understands how good garlic is. Poe's main weapon is the garlic. Yeah, this guy is just the best character in the game, 100%.
Yeah, you combine it with Hollow Heart, and it's just the game's over.
This guy just doesn't die. All right, Reinhardt from Overwatch.
With Reinhardt here, I mean, his voice actor alone is just peak. Felt like my character was a little waifu heavy initially, so I wanted to bring in some husbandos and the goats. And Overwatch, when that game first came out, I played on a laptop, and I wanted to be a Genji main, but my friend was trying to form a team, and he told me in the nicest way possible, you're averaging like 1k damage on Genji in like a 15-minute game. I don't think you're going to be playing DPS. Why don't you play Reinhardt? Turns out just swinging my hammer around, pulling a big shield, and just charging people was pretty easy, so kind of got my love through FPS through Reinhardt not having to aim at people, so that's why he's on my list.
You know, that it's crazy that you put Reinhardt on this list, because when I think of you in shooter, I feel like you like the characters. I'm not saying Reinhardt can't pop off, because I've definitely seen Reinhardt's pop off, but I just feel like the potential for popping off like more is in like different classes. So I'm actually really surprised you put Reinhardt here.
Yeah, I mean, back then I just couldn't flick. The most flicking I was doing was the hammer on my screen, so
Yeah.
flash my monitor going in and out because the frames would go too crazy. So that's the only flickering / flicking I was experiencing at that time. So I just let my friends do the work, and I just charged when I saw a shield, and I played Reinhardt.
Yeah, I mean, Reinhardt, I feel like, was one of the best tanks to pick back then anyways.
Yeah, Bastion was really strong back then too, so you would just protect Bastion a lot. And his cinematics back then were just top tier as well.
Oh, 100%. 100%. The way Reinhardt becomes Reinhardt was peak Blizzard cinematics. And then they've only gone downhill since.
Unfortunately,
yeah,
it's very true.
Reinhardt goes in A. I think there's a certain level of respect that I have for tank players. I think, just in general, tanking is the most boring role, personally. So whenever someone's like, yeah, I like playing tank, like I shed a little tear, you know? Because it's like, damn. I feel like they're taking one for the team.
Yeah, I don't know. Reinhardt's story, just the character, the development, my experience with him, he's an amazing character in my books.
He's a great character. All right, Sheik. So I put Sheik from Smash. I don't know if that was the intention.
Yeah, that is 100% accurate. So Sheik was my main. I didn't get really the most experience I had with Smash. Back then, there was this little McDonald's that was really close to my house. And when you went to the Playhouse, they had Melee. So that's when I first started getting into Super Smash Bros. But I didn't really get into it until Smash. And I'm just used to characters, or I don't really have much patience. Which was really hard about playing characters like Reinhardt for me. But she just moved really quick. I liked her Zelda form as well to be able to get like a finisher or like a damage boost in. And then I played Sheik, I think, exclusively when I try to get into Project M when playing Brawl. Yeah, that's why Sheik's there. In this Smash franchise, I think she's the only character that I put like a decent amount of time into and actually know how to like. I can't even edge guard. But I think she's the closest character I got to getting to, like, maybe edge guarding people.
Okay. No, Sheik's hype as hell. One of my favorite players, Void, is a Sheik main. And he still, he, like, dropped the character for a really long time because she wasn't in a really good spot in Smash Ultimate. But he's just like, hey, you know what? The most important thing for me is playing characters that I'm comfortable with. So I'm just going to go back and play Sheik. And I think at first his results weren't too good, but as like he kept practicing more and more and getting more acclimating himself with the character, right? His results got better and better, so like it was always fun watching Sheik. I think Sheik is a really hype character when it comes to Smash. All right, Snorlax.
Snorlax, I think, is just too adorable of a Pokemon. I think back then, this was before like Munchlax came out, so I was really gravitated to like a Pokemon that couldn't evolve. He seemed like a legendary Pokemon in his own right, and he just looks so adorable. He's just my favorite character. He looks like he would be intimidating, but with that little smile of his, like, there's nothing scary about the dude. He's just an adorable character. I can't really call this guy a main, but when I think about Pokemon, he's my favorite Pokemon, so I just put him in my list.
No, that's fair, that's fair. I mean, Snorlax was kind of like a legendary Pokemon back in the day, in all fairness, because you have to go through so many different hoops to wake him up, and then finally you have the opportunity to fight him, right? Like you have to get the Poke Flute, wake Snorlax up, and then you're like, oh my god, I can catch this thing. And I remember that was like a big deal, playing like Red, Blue, Yellow, and it's like many remakes.
Yeah, I was such a noob at playing the game back then. I just saw the guy sleeping, and I just thought he looked so cool. I never even got the opportunity to catch him because I didn't know how to back then. So I just saw this thing just snoozing, and I was like, this thing is adorable. And then later on, seeing him in the shows, he's like old reliable, but he does
absolutely
nothing. And I'm like, dang, that's a way to live life. You're like,
that's a way to live life. That's
your team is relying on you. Your team is, and your presence is enough. They feel so relaxed and comforted by your presence alone. You don't even have to do anything. You can just keep snoozing.
You know what? That's fair. That's fair. Okay, then here's a side question. Okay. If Pokemon were real, would you own a Snorlax?
If I had a living space big enough where he could live a comfortable life, 100%.
Okay.
But like, I think in my current situation, he would be living a very uncomfortable life because he's probably the size of my bedroom. He just can't even walk around. There's nowhere for him to saunter. I mean, if he's willing to just like take up the space and I could put stuff on top of him and he's just gonna sleep all the time, then sure, why not? But I would assume while he's out of his slumber, he kind of wants to do some things.
All right, what about Munchlax? What if it's like Munchlax then?
Nah, Munchlax he's cute in his own right, but he's like, listen, I love kids, like they're cute, they're adorable, but I start hating them the moment they can start talking. Like when I can't start pinching their little cheeks without them like yelling at me anymore, I'm like, I'm done. Like you can go back to your mom and dad. Like Munchlax kind of gives me that energy. He's gonna like chew my shoes. He's gonna eat all my food. He's not gonna be that chill. Like, and nah, Munchlax ain't the vibe. Snorlax though, he's a vibe.
He is a vibe. You know what, dude? We're having a lot of A tiers. Damn.
Dang, plopping him in the A tier. I wasn't expecting that, but that's my Pokemon GOAT, so I'll happily take that result.
Snorlax is just one of those Pokemon that I think is like really hard to hate too. All right, Sora.
So Sora, like Kingdom Hearts is probably like one of the first single player games that I ever really got into. I played like, I mean, obviously I played like Pokemon. I tried like Dragon Quest and stuff like that in the past when I was playing on the PlayStation 2. PlayStation 2 was like my first console, by the way. But Kingdom Hearts and the franchise in itself, I was just in love with the series. I was like into Disney characters at the time as well. Just Kingdom Hearts 1, I felt like you had so much to do, just collecting all the different characters, the Keyblades, finding all the little trinities with different characters to be able to do them. I think it's like one of the few games that I think I had the luxury of not playing when like the internet was around, so all the Easter eggs or defeating things, finding things. It was like the first RPG, I guess, that like I was able to really enjoy. It's probably the only RPG I've really ever enjoyed, so that's why I put Sora on my list.
Mm-hmm. Did you fight Sephiroth in Kingdom Hearts 2?
I did not. I actually didn't play Kingdom Hearts 2 all too intently, and as much as I was waiting for Kingdom Hearts 3, I think my love for single-player games had already passed.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
That's fair. Well, I like the Kingdom Hearts series, but I never like understood the story.
Yeah, I think the story is awful, but still, seeing Disney and Final Fantasy characters mash up was just one of the coolest things for like my my 8-year-old brain at the time.
No, it was really cool. It was really cool. Seeing, what is it, when you see Cloud pop out in the Coliseum in the Hercules land, I was like, whoa, they can do that.
Yeah, like in just fighting Hades with Cerebus, like that, like when you're in the jungle. I don't know. Like there's so many arcs in the series, like in the game, that are like just so memorable. Except for the stupid ship that you had to build. That was the dumbest
gummy
thing
ship.
in the world.
Oh, dude, that was dumb. That was dumb. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy the hoops we went through as kids because. All right, I'm gonna put Sora in B, not because it's like, not because he's a bad character per se, but I just think when I look at the rest of the roster, he goes there.
Nah, that's criminal. Sora as a character, his Keyblade. Name any other character that has something as cool as a Keyblade as a weapon.
The Gunblade from Final Fantasy VIII.
Alright, you got me.
Alright, Vayne from League of Legends.
Vayne, man, I feel like my Vayne back in the day was it was pretty clean. I liked playing AD carry. You liked playing AD carry. Unfortunately, it was a role that a lot of us liked to play, but we were chased out of. But I think we grew a lot of bond in League of Legends through this character alone, because I think in our friend group at the time, there weren't that many good ADCs before they all decided to take our role. There's just one guy that was just way better than the both of us, and I think we just liked how the character played, so we got better. And I think we just had a lot of pro players that were in the ADC role that played Vayne really well, that we just thought was super cool.
I think if I was talking about old you, Vayne is definitely the character that I think of. When I think of new you, I think it's more like, I definitely think more junglers, like Lee Sin and Kha'Zix. But like, Vayne is for sure, like, I don't know how, like, why you picked up Vayne, but I remember I watched, like, obviously Doublelift was like the big like Vayne player back in the day, but like what really inspired me to pick up Vayne was I think it was Imp. No, but Imp wasn't a Vayne player.
For me, it was Hayam Gosu.
Oh, Gosu, yeah, dude. Oh my goodness, that guy was a beast.
Yeah, so Gosu and Doublelift were the main reasons why. I remember watching a clip of Doublelift in his invisible form, and he was by his bottom turret, and instead of running away towards his bottom turret, he like ultimate, and then he tumbled into the enemy team. And I was just like, wow, that is the smartest thing I've ever witnessed in my life. I'm going to add that to my repertoire. And I just started outplaying people a lot more consistently by realizing by going invisible and being more unpredictable, it made the character actually pretty good. So yeah. I just realized I could start hard carrying in that fashion. And watching Hayam Gosu just carry games to infinity with Vayne. And she just had so many like micro things that you could do to make her a little bit better. Yeah, she was just so satisfying to play back in the day.
She was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, even in like the more recent times that we played League, I mean, it's been like over a year now, but when Melio came back out, or was a new character, I was able to play Vayne with you in the bottom lane. And I think that is probably, in like the 10 plus years of playing League of Legends, I probably had the most fun playing Vayne with you playing Melio in the bot lane. Like, it was just so much fun. For no amazing reason. But I just wouldn't die. I would go crazy. I would play like Imp. I would literally int. And then I had my Mata named Jay just raiding me back in so we could win this normal game that we're trying to win. Like it is grand finals.
Yes. But like little Timmy didn't know it was going to hit him. You know what I'm saying?
They just get home from school and they were like, I want to have fun. I mean, he has these guys in their mid-20s just beating him up.
Vayne, just for the memories alone, I think is an S tier character.
Dang, my tier list looking pretty top heavy. Dude, I like it.
Your tier list is kind of crazy, but I also think it helps that you and I kind of, I can kind of, there are similarities in our taste. I think.
Sure. Yogg-Saron. So Hearthstone is probably like the first card game that I really got into. The reason why I ever even got really into Shadowverse in the way I did is probably thanks to Hearthstone. Outside of League of Legends, it was like the first time I experienced like a competitive environment. I like went to like a LAN center to try to compete and get like a spot at like the Blizzard Invitational. And to be honest, looking back on it, I have no idea why I got into the game because the game sucked. Like Hearthstone is a terrible, terrible card game. Ben Brode was the only person keeping that game alive in any shape, way, or form, and I think Yogg-Saron is like the epitome of Ben Brode, which was trying to make Hearthstone fun and competitive at the same time. And I think Yogg-Saron to this day is the only deck that let you have fun and be competitive at the same time. I love Yogg.
Dude, I hate this card.
Nah, Yogg is the only. It was a little expensive, but you could play it at like a pretty budget level. You could play it at like a very expensive level. Dude, Hearthstone was just such an expensive card game to get into. Like, you could either have one tier 1 deck after like a month of playing, or you could maybe have like 3 tier 3 decks and be absolutely terrible and not be able to climb to save your life.
Yeah, Hearthstone was kind of expensive, but like the reason why I didn't like Yogg-Saron was basically for what, like, the reasons you. I think the issue that I had with Hearthstone in particular was game needed to be fun. I can agree with that, right? But how they dictated that fun was through RNG. But then when RNG is the reason why a deck just like randomly wins you the game or just like randomly loses you the game, I think that's what like really infuriated me about Hearthstone. And Yogg-Saron is like the epitome of like my design frustrations with Hearthstone. Because
no, I agree. Before you keep going, I agree. Like, I think the biggest flaw of Hearthstone is the RNG factor. They made the game try to be fun, and their way of doing that was through RNG, and that was just the identity I think was built on Hearthstone. That's why when you saw like any Hearthstone finals, there was never the same players, even though we knew players like Reinhardt, man, I can't, like,
Firebat,
Firebat, like, these are all people that we know, but like they were never consistently placing at the top, even though you could tell like Savit's like their skill level was higher. Is the game incorporated way too much RNG, and I think for me I enjoyed Yogg because it was the way to say fuck you to Hearthstone. If this is the way you want to design the game, then I'm just gonna show you how bad the game at a core is, and that was fun for me.
Yeah. So you know what? That's where I'll put Yogg.
No, that's criminal. Yogg deserves so much more. But hey, that's fair. Like, Yogg is the epitome of bad game design in Hearthstone. A lot of people quit because of this card.
I quit because of this card.
I also quit because of this card. That's the last time I enjoyed playing Hearthstone.
But anyways, yeah, I think this is the tier list that I'm landing on. What do you think?
Hey, I'll take it. A lot of my characters just, I think they're fairly placed. Dea X Machina being S tier, the #1 waifu on the list.
Yeah.
You know, we'll take it. I mean, can't forget about Poe, the GOAT.
The GOAT.
Like, man, if you could put the chart that you showed me about Poe right here, boom, banger.
Banger.
Then we got Vayne. The rest speak for themselves. So poor Yogg, but a rightfully played.
Rightfully placed. All right. Well, anyways, this has been JaeAIK with my good friend Swoongi. If you like this video, be sure to leave a thumbs up. You know, leave a comment about what you think some of these characters are, or where they should be placed. Subscribe if you like my content. Become a member if you want to help me out. All that jazz. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, thank you for doing this with me, Swoongi.
Thanks for having me. Hope you guys enjoy the tier list.
All right. I will catch you guys next time. Goodbye.
Peace.
させるものか僕は負けるわけにはいかないんだ